What's up, kids?
What's up, everybody?
You sound like the porch grandpa right there. A little bit.
You
I
gotta
liked
forgive
it.
me, man. You gotta
I
forgive
dug
me.
it.
My voice is a little off kilter. Just came from being out at Aliquippa, man, going back home, and you get into it with buddies and scream and yell and laugh, and a bunch of that going on this weekend.
Yeah,
So,
you sound rough. You sound like you're actually like your age now. It's nice. Jeez.
yeah, man, it's like I definitely got into some yelling matches, and like I said, I mean, I was out there to pretty much celebrate well, not celebrate, but to memorize the death of my second father, as I discussed on the last one, and all of that, the wake and the viewing and the funeral and all that took place. So
Yeah.
back, everything went smooth. I mean, everything was cool. I've seen a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. Seen a lot of girls I didn't see in a long time as well. Like I'm talking, like I ain't seen these people since maybe junior high. And I'm like, dang.
Jeez.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a while, so it was fun times, fun times. But
Yeah.
yeah, my voice is definitely strained.
Yeah. I've been there before. Believe me. Remember our first few episodes where we were sick for like 3 months?
I know you could just
Yeah.
hear it like.
Super great radio. Yeah. It's almost funny enough. It's almost a good thing that we didn't have the better audio setup, because that
Yeah.
probably would have been miserable sounding. Like, oh, I can hear his nose hairs wiggling. What are we doing? Gross.
Yeah.
Well, listen. My name is Rich,
My name is Jermaine.
and this is the X's and O's of life. Yeah, I stole your stuff. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
No, that's all good.
And lately we've been kind of going down a few rabbit holes, which anyone that's been a fan of the show realizes that's kind of how we do business. But there are some topics we want to cover, so this is going to be a little bit more formatted than it usually is. So it's all good. It's still going to be good content. It's just going to be a little bit more business-like. So we've been missing up on Jermaine's topic here, so he's going to lead in and tell us what we're going to kind of yap about before we get into our draft. All right, so go ahead and shoot, man. What do you got?
All right. Well, I noticed this. I want to say maybe like a month ago, and I wrote it down because I just realized that about myself, and just going back home made me realize it even more.
Okay.
So what the topic is pretty much I've found out, or I've noticed about myself, that I'm not a big chaser of any kind. And what I mean by that is, as far as a job, women, man, I definitely noticed more as far as women since my separation. I'm not that dude that's gonna, hit on you and then you tell me no, and then I hit on you again and then you tell me no, and then after the third or fourth time, I finally cracked the code that is, somehow landing you as my woman. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the type of person that if they say no one time, then I'm like, F you then, and I walk away. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a chaser of any kind. So I noticed that, like I said, with my jobs, even down to video games. I mean, I remember I told you before, I play Grand Theft Auto.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in a while, by the way. Just go ahead.
I play Grand Theft Auto online. I haven't played it in a while, but when I used to play it, they would have these missions, and they would have you start at the top of the map, drive all the way down to the airport at the bottom of the map just to finish your mission. As lazy as that sounds, I didn't even want to do that driving. I would hand the controller to my son. When it was time to drive, I would hand it to him and let him do the driving. And then when it got to the mission, I'll take the controller back. I don't like chasing. I mean, it's like one of those things that I know that animals do it all the time. I mean, animals chase down their prey. I mean,
Oh,
if
I
I
thought you were
was,
talking about like panda bears playing GTA. I'm like, word, let me see this. This
no,
is crazy.
no, I just mean like animals, they chase down their prey. I mean, lions and cheetahs and all that. And then they say, remember we said it's more satisfaction, or you appreciate it more when you have
Right.
to go through hell to get it. If I was that animal out in nature, I would try to trap it or something. I'm not running after a bunch of stuff. I just
Well, they
know.
kind of do, though. You think about lions and how the females hunt. They basically have like their posse at one place, and then they'll have one kind of scout, and then they'll have one.
Yeah, like one that flushes it out.
Right. Yeah. So they kind of do, but like, I get what you're saying.
No, but remember on the episode of, was that X's and O's, when we talked about the animals you want to be? What was the first animal I wanted to be? A male lion. You know why? I ain't doing the hunting. I'm chilling.
Fair enough. No, that's valid.
Chilling,
That makes sense.
protecting the area, and I got a group of women around me. I mean, I know that a previous job that we both met at, I got reprimanded countless amount of times for not chasing hard enough, not chasing people down. Like, I'm just one of those people, like even when I tell women that I like to go to the strip club, because I'm not going out to that bar to chase those women. I like them to all gather in one spot.
Back up a little bit.
Okay.
There you go. Go ahead. Keep going. You were just real muffled. I didn't want anyone to miss what you were saying there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's like I'd rather gather in one spot, and I'll do something at that point. I'd rather be able to make a decision already at the scene. I'm not. I guess, and then I say to myself, does that come off sounding lazy? Like I'm not a go-getter? No, I'm not. I'm not.
I mean, when it
lazy.
comes to GTA, absolutely, you're a lazy man when it comes to GTA. That's silly. Like you're omitting like literally a third of the title of the whole game.
Well, obviously, I don't play GTA for the driving part. I just don't.
No, fair enough. So no, I don't think it can be really construed as lazy. I think it's all about kind of how you handle your business, right? So, generally speaking, most jobs I've kind of come across have come across me.
Yeah.
So I haven't really had to kind of start, knocking doors and cracking skulls trying to, get you to employ me. Yeah. I mean, obviously, not everything has happened that way. I mean, the job I have now, I looked for that, and it wasn't really much of a pursuit. It was like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Do you want to work? I mean, sort of. Okay, cool. It was kind of that. Do you have a pulse? Probably. Come on in. So, all right, cool, fine. The whole woman part. I mean,
well, you got the big catch. You got the big fish.
Well, yeah. I mean, I get that, but
leading up to that, though, I mean,
yeah. I mean, but when I didn't really enjoy like the chase thing. I was just like, I don't feel like doing this, man. Like it was almost.
I love it. Like my one buddy. I remember even as far back as elementary, how like elementary, you and somebody y'all were a couple for one day, and he was just one of those guys that, like this one girl, I'll never forget her. Her name is Carmen, and she's a good looking girl, and she turned down everybody, but this dude would not stop. Like most people would just be like, man, she's too high. She's too sedity.
Was it like the Pepe Le Pew kind of situation there?
Yes, exactly. That is a great analogy. It's like he never gave up. Like no matter how many times she said no, he kept coming back. And that's not me. Like,
and that's towing that line too, where you start becoming creepy and like
creepy,
you're about to catch a charge type of deal.
But yeah, I mean, midlife crisis. I ain't gonna say crisis, but I'm going through a midlife type of transformation where at first it started with my job of 15 years, lost that, and pretty much had to search for a new job. I went a whole year working pointless, mindless, payless type of
Gigs,
jobs.
right?
Until I landed the job I have now. So I did a chasing pretty much for a year, and I hated every minute of it. And that's
Right.
just the job. Now, just moved into my apartment. I hated the process of that. I was getting ready to settle for an apartment that I was almost a half an hour away from the city, just because I wanted to stop the chasing process.
Right.
I wanted to hurry up and end it and finish and just get on about my life. And then now, lastly, with the woman situation, moving on to a woman, I just was in the bar yesterday, and it's like, I looked at a few people, spoke to a few people, but I didn't go out of my way.
You don't have the energy for it.
Yes. Like, hey, come on back, and I got to woo, and hey, honey, and I got to say this and say pickup lines and all. I ain't with it. I'm not with it.
Here's what I like to do with that. I like to kind of find what I want and get an idea what's going on with that. Then do a mini little, like, not really a mini chase, but it was just kind of like, okay, let's see how easy this is going to be. That sounds real bad. That sounds real bad.
Insert laziness. Insert not go getter. That's what I'm saying. It's like I wanna go get stuff. I mean, this is if I can avoid it, I'm gonna be smarter and find a way to not exert so much energy that I can save that energy for something else.
And look, I think a lot of it comes down to, mindsets too. With me, I'm just such a very just chill kind of. Now I'm outwardly, I act like I'm a cokehead, but inwardly, generally, like I'm a pretty chill, like relaxed person. And my kind of ideologies on things kind of reflect that. How I'm just very like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's just go with the flow. Like the job will come along and we'll do that. The right girl will come along. It'll just literally just happen. And that's how it's always going to work for me. And that sounds like a weird flex, but it's just generally that's how it works. I mean, I know it sounds like, because I'm not a ladies man, but I'm not that guy. But I mean, you
mean to tell me you're not Brad Pitt?
Right, yeah, but I mean, right, but I will tell you, there's definitely some, I have some numbers, so it's one of those.
That's a small little tout of the horn.
Right. I mean, I'm 37. I mean, I'm not, I've seen some things and stuff.
Yes.
It's just one of those. I think it really comes down to what you really are into. If you need, like, some people need that chase, like that gets them off, I guess, for lack of a better term.
I guess the prize is gratifying to them. Like they want a chase before, like we talked about animals in nature, like with a snake, or like you can't just throw a dead mouse into a snake's pit. They want something to move because they enjoy it. Like they want to hunt. I mean, you can't
just. Is that true, or is that just something you're making up?
No, from what I understand, I mean, I don't know about every snake. I don't know about every snake, but a lot of times the python and stuff, they want something that's moving. Like they don't want a dead animal.
No idea about that.
Yeah, they want
you watch a lot of nature shows, homie. Like you have a lot of.
I mean, I was a bio major. in college.
I forgot.
Yeah, animals and nature and all that. That always fascinated me.
Huh. See, all this time I thought you were an idiot, just watching Animal Planet.
He said a full-blown,
just a bowl of popcorn, a beer, a joint, Animal Planet, and a bunch of time.
Like a purebred idiot. No,
that's funny. No, that's crazy, man. I didn't even. And and it's weird because the squeaky toys that Crosby has, right?
Yeah.
Apparently he likes to squeak because it sounds like an animal in pain.
Yeah,
and that's just that's so dark. It's such a dark thing.
But if the toy didn't have a squeaker in it, it's just a inanimate object.
He'll
Like it
still be
doesn't
super
move.
happy, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's just this strange like, oh, here's your nice domesticated pet that likes to murder. All right.
Yeah. I mean, there are certain animals that enjoy. It's gratifying to them
Right.
that they was able to chase down their meal, so to speak. You know,
I get it,
I guess the only animals that don't really get into the chase is scavengers, like
Right.
like a vulture
They're
or
just
even a
like
hyena. They want somebody else to do the work, and then they're like a bottom feeder.
look, they're the Ezel of the animal kingdom. So
Ezel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it really still does come down to how you're bred and what you actually like. I mean, and you know, you can be across the board of just not a quote unquote go getter, or you can kind of pick your spots for it. But
Yeah, certain things like, of course, passion, things that, I think that's going to pay off. And I know that there is definitely a chase involved. I'm definitely willing to take that option, i.e. this podcast. You know what I mean?
Was just going to say, I mean, like this thing, like generally all my other stuff, I'm just like, meh, whatever will happen. This thing, I'm on my grind all the time.
You like a cheetah that's on crack. Like you are super chasing it down.
and I think and you mentioned something about passion. I think either that or it was in my head that I said it. I don't know, one of the two. But I think that is the variable there. If you find something you're super passionate, I mean, look, you see a girl, you're like, yeah, we can maybe do this, but really, you're just like, yeah, you're a snack. I want to do some things here. So like, you're not passionate about it. You're just horny. So, like,
with women, I will say this. Depending on, this is cold, but depending on how they look, that would tell me how much chase is involved.
Absolutely.
So if they're a gorgeous dime, yes, I'm going to be I'm going to be Pepe Le Pew because I want that. I really, really, as you said, passion is the key variable. I really, really, really want that. But in the same time, there's another woman there, has all the same parts as the other lady, but I'm just not as passionate. I'm not gonna chase hard. It's gonna be, you almost gotta like lay in front of me. And then I'll be like, okay.
Like the whole mating, I guess for lack of a term, the whole mating process, I swear it feels like it's algebra. It's like, you see the girl, it's like, okay, X plus Y equals the level of effort minus the X that would be the probability of success times, it's like you don't put that stuff in, you don't put that pen to paper, but like you really do go through that equation. It's like, all right, what's my probability of me going over here and either pulling this or making myself feel like a fool? It's just a weird. That's why I never really enjoyed that. I'm like, look,
it can put a damper on the rest of your night. Like, so after you get turned down, you in a
sour, mad, bitter beer face mood.
Yeah, you in a bad mood for friends that you might be with, and you start self-evaluating and start even questioning yourself. Like, dang, am I that ugly? Or like it just dampens the mood. It kills it.
Because I never really enjoyed going to the bar and picking up. It wasn't my bag. I'm just like, I'm not built for that. Like, I don't like to kind of just, hey, miss, you've been approached by 5 other dudes that probably look better than me. What's good? How are you? Would you like another drink? Because you look like you're about to fall off your chair. Yeah. So my name's Rich, and nobody wants to. Like, honestly, that's terrible. That's like, and not even just for the person that's doing it, but on the receiving end, it's like, oh, it's another one of you. I was like just a random, like, hey, I'm at work, whatever. Someone comes in, we just end up talking. It's like, oh, we had a natural, organic connection. Cool. Yeah. You mean like people? Yeah, like people.
Yep. And I know there's another thing about myself. That girl that's being approached by everybody that's saying, you look good, can I buy you a drink? I go out of my way to stay away from that person.
Right.
I really do.
You're hitting on the Sith Lord in the corner. That
Yeah, I'm trying
that's
to find that
chain
girl that's
smoking,
like real
cigarette
quiet,
shit.
that real quiet. Maybe maybe got on some glasses and you take it off. Like I'm looking for the ugly duckling syndrome. You know what I mean?
What was that movie? Can't Hardly Wait, I think, where it was like they tried to make the ugly duckling into like this. I don't know. I don't know. It was like a '90s movie. I don't know. No, I get it because you don't. Yeah, you don't want to approach that person that looks like you're gonna be a problem.
I mean, yeah, like I don't want that girl that everybody's falling all over because every move you make, every turn, you gotta watch. It's like,
right.
Okay, if I go to the bathroom, somebody's gonna hit on her. If I take her here, somebody's gonna hit on her. It's like, and me and you discussed this on your porch before when I was just like, sometimes, it took me a while to learn how to accept compliments to my girl by somebody like at first somebody, you out with your girl or you out with your wife or something, and someone would say, "Hey, honey, you look nice," or they would even boldly, didn't know that you were with her, come up to her and try to talk to her. At first, that triggered anger for me, like, man, stay away from my girl. But then one guy, I guess he gave her a compliment, and of course, I come with the mean face, and he was just like, "Hey, man, you ain't got to fight me." He was like, "It's a compliment to you. Like, you got a nice girl on your arm. Like, shouldn't you take that as you landed something nice, as opposed to I'm gonna fight everybody? Don't look at her."
Right? Because that's just that's insanity.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, that's right. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing if you don't pursue things. I mean, if you're like just a loser and not doing anything with your life, and you're not trying to better your life or anything like that, then yeah, you may have a problem. But if you're doing fine and you're just kind of you're more comfortable with letting an opportunity come to you. I mean, now albeit obviously some effort should be put forth on your end too to better certain situations or what have you, but.
Depending on the object or the reward, depending on the passion behind that is going to dictate the level of chasing for me. If I can reduce the chase in any way, I'm gonna research that option. I'm gonna try to find and use that option. I'm not gonna chase just because, oh man, I like chasing. Like I'm gonna take the long way because I just want to. No.
Age comes into play too, man. Like, look, I'm 37, you're 45. We do not have the patience or really the energy. I am not trying to build a resume and do this. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, let's say I get divorced. I'm not trying to go on Tinder and go to bar. No.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna get oh God, get a bottle of lotion. No. It's just one of the, I do not like it's age. I really think is like one of the big factors. If you're 20, 21, you're out there trying to spread your literal and figurative seed all over the place. But
and that's just not human beings. It's just animals. Period. Like you just got more energy and more chase in you at a young age. And on top of that, let's bring in level of experience. So when you're younger, you're chasing harder because you haven't experienced
too much. Know
what you're chasing. But as you get older, you're like, I already know where that train's ending. So you don't put in the effort as you would as a kid because
you pick your spots. That's really kind of what you pick your spots more. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was good, man. I enjoyed that. I like to kind of hear your perspective on that. So that was a good topic. I dug it.
Yep. Appreciate it.
So, as we said, we're going to try to be a little bit more formatted and kind of sound like we know what we're talking about or doing or whatever. Clearly, I don't because words are difficult. So, last episode on X's, you should listen to it because we're good at what we do. Please. Or not. I don't care. I do. So the draft was if you were to die and be reincarnated as an animal, we went over our top fours, will be your top four. Now, we're not going to go ahead and tell you what that is. If you really are curious, you know what to do.
Yes.
So now last week it was Jermaine's idea. So we got the first pick. I kind of piggybacked off this because we started going down a little bit of rabbit hole towards the
Yes,
end
we
of the draft,
did.
and I was
We
like,
were
you know
Alice
what?
in Wonderland.
Right. I'm like, this could be an interesting little segue off because we've never done that. We've never done kind of like a back to back same type of draft. So this was my kind of creation here, and it was going to be the worst animals to come back as.
Yeah.
You know, so you're just like, really? This is what you did? I can't just stay dead. I had to kind of go. All right. So I'm going to lead it off real quick, and it's going to be I don't know if this is like the guaranteed 101, but I feel like it's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the fly.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So it's real simple. Flies live for like 3 days, and they literally spend their lives dodging your simple ass. So they're just trying not to die from the jump. So they're like they know they're hated. I don't know.
And they're born. They're born into something nasty. Like they're
right. They're born from garbage.
Yes.
Like
you come out like whatever life you're living in, you're like, man, who did I piss off to come back as this?
Right. So yeah, just a miserable life. You're literally born from a maggot. Like that's just like that's like saying, yeah, my mom was a crack whore. You know what I mean? It's just like you don't get like the title you're being born from and bred from is not great from like you just so it's like being born crippled, man. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but it really is kind of like you already have the handicap because you know that you only have like a 3-day lifespan, and your 3-day lifespan is literally spent sucking people's bloods and trying to not get hit by things.
Yeah.
Woof.
I mean,
so I don't know if that was the 101, but I felt like that was
I'm going to say in the same family, well, not family, but as far as insects. So my main thing is any type of insect that is a drone or a worker. So, I mean, like any type of like an ant or a bee in a beehive. If you're not the queen or the main one, your life is pointless. Like
right.
I'd rather be an important hyena or something than a worthless, useless, nameless. Like you have no identity. You are nobody.
So what are you picking though?
You said what?
What are you picking? You can't just pick a genre.
Like any of those, like the bees, any of those worker type of insects.
Right, so we'll call it a worker bee.
Okay. Yep.
Right. So a prick with a prick. Got it. All right.
Yeah. He said a prick with a prick. But yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to be I don't want to be an animal that my life means nothing, or my life is geared toward saving some other life. Like what? Like, nah, it's good.
I mean, that may be noble, but yeah, I feel you. So we'll go bee/worker ant. So that'll be kind of in that same family. So okay.
Yeah.
Because the last thing we need to do is start pissing off people making comments here. Like, he picked 2. No, he didn't. Shut up. It's fine. All right. So, number 2, I'm going a rat.
Okay.
I'm going a rat because you were just despised. You were despised. You serve.
Your reputation is terrible right out the gate.
Right. You're hideous. And some people are weird. Like, I like rats. I'm like, you seem like the weird person that doesn't get a lot of dates. So, your opinion, I don't really want to hear it.
Yeah, but I don't know too many people that love pet rats, you know. And on top of that, you could be a test dump. You're a lab rat, like
right? Yeah. So you're just like, hey, let me stab you with some stuff. It's like, so yeah. I mean, it's just like you. It is synonymous with dirty, right? You think a rat, you think of a New York subway, right? You just think of just a gross. Taken away like a half-eaten piece of pizza off the stairwell in the subway. Like, it's just
there's no
vermin,
fun.
You're disease carrying. Like, get Get out
There's
of my
no
life.
fun, clean way to describe a rat. Like, it's just
Right.
impossible.
And then even like I mean, I know I mentioned the mafia stuff. I mean, it's a bad derogatory
Term.
word. Like you're a rat, you're a snitch. So I don't even know how those things correlate, but it's like okay, no one likes a snitch, no one likes a rat. There you go. There's your correlation.
Yeah.
All right, hit me. What's two?
Now, I don't want to piss off anybody that has a farm, that has as a pet, but a pig, to me, like your whole life,
Really?
like, I
Okay.
mean, I understand people have pet pigs, but the majority, I want to say 95% of a pig's life is designed to do what? They're going to die at some point, and they're going to
Yeah, they
be,
are.
I mean, they're food. I mean, there's like
Yeah.
your whole, like, you are growing up on this farm, not because they like you. I mean, like I said,
They're
there
about to
are
serve a
some people,
purpose, right? Yeah.
like there are people that have pet pigs and they let them live out without killing them. But 9 times out of 10, your life is a meal, like several meals, I guess, So, yeah,
Okay.
pig.
No, that's not bad. I mean, you think about it, it's just like okay, you have one, like that whole meme about you had one job. Well, no, legit, dude, you have one job: eat, get fat, and die. There's your job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That's miserable. I mean, it's probably fun while you're doing it because are always tasty. But yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go with three, and this was mentioned on the last podcast. And I don't care. I'm going horse.
Oh, you
Going
really
horse.
despise the horse just because
No,
they
I
get
don't
rolled.
despise. I pity the horse, man. Like, look, you were ridden. Like I said, you're ridden by some schmuck. That, or you're just standing there and ridden by like kids that don't know what they're doing when they're trying to learn how to ride you, and they're just sitting here kicking you with their little spurs and busting your back because they're too stupid to know their equilibrium is not correct and they shouldn't be doing this. If you were good enough at what you do with walking, then you run, then you get in a race, then you can't race anymore because you hurt yourself, then they kill you. There you go. That's your life. You don't have any, and like if you're lucky, you get to run free in a field, and that's it. Like you get to run free. Like that's cool. Like I don't like because it definitely piggybacks off your thing. There's a pun. Piggybacks off
Piggyback.
your right. I didn't even realize that. It's fine. It piggybacks off yours because it's just a pointless life, but you're not riding a pig. I mean, there's like that extra little caveat of you have a little midget guy, whipping you with a stick. Mush go. It's like, get off me, dude. I will kick you into the next universe. Find something to do. So yeah, I just feel bad, man, because it's such a like you serve your purpose, but your purpose is I don't know, not much.
Yeah. I mean, you are used as a tool. I mean, you're a means to an end. I mean, that's kind of along the lines of that drone worker and or
Right.
be like all your whole life means nothing. You're helping somebody else do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess a lot of animals can be kind of under that veil, but I guess horses are kind of like romanticized, like these majestic little creatures. It's like no, they are like nice things, but it's like really in the grand scheme of life, they used to be your transportation. Literally, like they would either pull a cart or you'd be on them. Like now, what did you you freed them from their oppression, and now they just get ridden on the weekends now? Like what do we do?
Yeah. All right.
What you got?
Third, this is somewhat of a slight tilt, but my third is and this is on a cartoon. Like I don't know if you even watch SpongeBob, but there's a reason why that little green dude called Plankton is so mad.
Okay.
Because once again, his life, like the circle of life, and they're at the bottom of it. And it's like,
Listen, I was real close to going like shrimp or something. So I'm like, dude, you don't have no type of nothing. That's a good one. Okay.
Plankton, like your whole existence is to start the circle of life. Like you don't eat nothing. You get eaten.
Right.
like going through the chain or the I'm about to say chain of command, but just the life cycle chain. This eats this eats this, and it starts with the plankton. Like
Fair.
you don't dominate anything.
Yeah. You are the end of you're the stepping stone in the food cycle. Yikes.
Yep.
All right. So the last one that's going to be the anchor of the draft here. So I don't really want to stay in the same vein of like worker or utility things. I'm going to go to an animal that their life is just like what they have to do just kind of sucks. I'm going to go with a vulture.
Yes. Scavenger, I was just saying.
Right. Like they don't even get a fresh meal. They have to wait till everything is dead. All the other people have eaten, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to mosey on here and eat this rotting flesh. Delicious. Yeah. Oh my God. And then you look like a turkey and like a weird like baboon situation. Like you were just a hideous monster. And you get to eat like spoiled meat. Yeah.
Like
I don't know.
Your stomach, your biological makeup is you don't even want it fresh. Like you circle around something until like you wait until it dies. Like you want it to be sour.
Night. Yeah. That's just one of those like you don't really want to question God and things like that, but sometimes there's things that happen. You just kind of look up or like, what was the what?
Like, why did they get assigned?
What was this? What happened here? Like, were we like running out of ideas? Was this like one of those weird jokes that forgot to get like taken off the cutting room floor? Like what?
I mean, it would be equivalent if we were in a human atmosphere. It'd be equivalent to somebody putting a plate down with steak on it, and you like, hey man, I don't want that yet. Hand it over to somebody, let them eat off of it, and then give it to you. Like,
no, it's even worse. It's It's doing that, and then coming back 3 days later, and then eating that steak. That's what the vulture does. He's like, nah, man, I need to let this.
Like this sit for a while. He's like, I don't want it fresh. Is you crazy?
Yeah, don't worry. The sun will keep it warm. Oh,
oh man.
Gross.
I mean, my last one is going to kind of be probably like a surprise, but I mentioned it on the last one. I don't want to be a snake, man. I mean, I know people think they're cool, but it seems like that animal's mad for the simple fact he don't got no arms and legs, and he attacks anything that gets in his way. Like, man, I'm gonna make you feel my pain. Like they are geared with fangs to make you feel the pain of them not being able to.
Right.
Touch anything, or you got a slither, and then it's another derogatory term.
Yeah.
And I got a snake, just like the rat,
And you can even go kind of biblical there too, I mean, there's that kind of,
you start out the gates as your reputation is like destroyed.
Right, like you start off the villain, like you came out of your mom the villain.
You didn't even get a chance to develop into a villain. You were born a villain.
You came out of your mom as Gary Oldman. There you go. Like you were just perennial, always like you're never the good guy. You have no redeeming factors unless you're the cool animated thing in Anaconda. But that's on the other podcast. You can go ahead and take your takes there. I don't care, but just saying that fake snake was awesome. But yeah, no, you're not wrong, man. Being a snake would suck. I know I picked it in my draft, and I'm like, mine was like a fake CGI thing. So whatever.
Yeah.
but just a general like garden snake or just a regular, just
yeah,
anything.
like
Like your
especially
life
if you ain't even
sucks.
know, even if especially if you ain't no venomous or you ain't got no
Right.
reputation like a cobra or something. You just a regular goofy garden
You're
snake.
just like, stop it. Like, it sucks.
There's no
Ugh,
benefit behind that one.
not at all. So I know that was a quick one, but it wasn't like something that needed to be kind of really like broken down a ton. But yeah, we just thought it was kind of a fun little, you know, I don't know, just we had the good, now let's do the evil part of it, and we may start doing that a little bit more because I think that went over well. So if there's something that's kind of
Yeah,
there's something
something
kind of
that got
like that,
more
we come
than
up with a draft that we can kind of do. Well, here's the best, and then if we have something that could work out for the worst, then yeah, we may kind of double up. So
yeah. Definitely has to be a topic where there's multiple picks because you got to have a good and a bad of it. Yeah.
right. So I guess kind of let me see, what are we at here? Okay, wow, straight up on the 40 mark. That's good. All right.
Mm.
So here is here's the part of the show where I need to kind of come out and be a little a bit of an adult. So I know this is kind of the family friendly ish thing, and we don't really cuss as much as we do on the other BDE Street. We've been a little bit looser with the tongue here a little bit, but I really don't think there's too many kids listening, to be honest. But fair enough. But we do want to kind of keep it a little more right, yeah. So thinking about that, and this kind of came up with the last episode of BDE Street. I was cussing, and so were you, like a ton for seemingly no real reason.
Yeah.
And made me think, why do we cuss? Why do we cuss? And who
Who
made
invented this?
right? Like who made and really quick here's the disclaimer here. I forgot to kind of do that before I got into this whole thing. This is about to be like the pretty explicit part of the show. So if that's not something you're comfortable with, don't worry about it. I get it. You can just click off. I appreciate you. That's why I wanted to save it till the end. But give you a second to get your bearings about you, and then we'll kind of get into the whole, yada yada yada. So, all right, everyone's gone now. Cool. Listen, I don't understand who made these rules. Like, who made fuck? Who made shit? Who made ass? Who made tits? Who made these as bad words? Like, what? How is the word fuck any worse than rock? They're both four-letter words. They both end with a K.
Just human anatomy? How is a middle finger more explicit than the pointer finger? Like, what?
I think it was a British thing, actually. I think there's some kind of, oh God, I remember seeing this on, Jesus. I wish you would have said that you're going to say that because I would have had that somehow queued up. But there was something I watched on something, and someone
and what you got the history behind it?
Yeah, like there's something. It was something with the British, either pointed towards the British, pun intended, or pointed from the British. But it's like something about they got something cut off. Oh man, here, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Is there a pause option here? Oh man.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, like, and we discussed this as far as why do we curse? Because it has emphasis on it. Because it lets the person that is hearing it opposite, or the people that are hearing it, it lets them know you have passion behind what you're saying. Not saying that you can't say fuck lazily. I mean, you can say it real lazy, but it's one of those things where it just adds
it's an abrasive word for really no reason. No reason. And by the way, I'm not going to look up the whole middle finger thing. I'm going to look that up when I'm done, and I'll let people know. Unless you want to do your own research, I don't care, whatever. But I am curious because I do want to find out, and I'll bring that info on the next episode. But it's one of those I never understood. I mean, I get it. You're taught as a young kid, hey, this word's bad, yada yada. You can't say that. Yeah. But then obviously your parents end up saying it, and you're like, what? Right, exactly. Like it's almost like a taboo thing, but it's still a word. Like it's power we've given to a word, and it explains certain things, and it's used in certain functions, just like with any other word.
Like you said, it has power behind it. Like I don't.
Like here, let me tell you this: go sit in your chair.
Yeah.
Okay. Go sit in your fuck. What?
What?
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like it's delivered the exact same way.
Yeah.
But we have this subconscious thing of like, oh, he said a bad word, so that seems more aggressive.
Yes.
But I mean, I just replaced the last word of what I said. I don't know. Yeah. It's just a weird thing, and I guess
it takes on a different meaning. It's like if I'm sitting there, I mean, just the same sentence that you said, where I say, if I'm talking to, or let's suppose a couple is out and they're arguing, and the dude says to the girl, "Get over here." Doesn't sound as rough as if he said, "Get the fuck over here." Right. And he means way more. He has more passion, and that one is way more serious than the first one. But they both mean
right. Yeah. And there's a lot of people. It is weird. It's one of those, like, if you really just step back and think of it, it's like, this doesn't actually make a ton of sense. And the other part of it too, because there's a lot of people that subscribe to the notion of, oh, it just means you're uneducated and you can't articulate things and verbalize things. So
a lot of people say that, like, if you use too many curse words, then you're not intelligent enough. You have a small vocabulary, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Now, anyone that's listened to us or knows us or anything under that veil realizes that me and Jermaine are relatively intelligent, and I'm saying relatively intelligent because I don't want to sound like a douche. But we're intelligent, articulate people. We know how to use vocabulary. It's just one of those things. Now, with that being said, we're a little bit loose with the tongue. And I think that comes into play, just as you said, with the passion part. You get excited. You start getting riled up. Anyone that lives in Pittsburgh knows exactly how that goes. You get all riled up. You start making up words. You start adding cuss words and then making up cuss words. And then use those two things. And you have a big old cluster of whatever you're trying to say. Yeah. And somehow or another, the other party realizes exactly what you're saying. And it's just one of those like, yeah. You sound like the kid. You sound like the Cajun guy in the Water Boy. So it's just one of those. Why do we do it? I don't know. I think some of it is just you add emphasis. Some of it is just fun.
But I think we're taught, like you said, it's just like even down to elementary school, you're taught at a very young age these words. Like there was a movie with Ben Stiller and De Niro, to Meet the Parents, and the little boy learned how to say asshole, and it was like he was like asshole, and he just kept saying it, and that was like comedy because the kid ain't supposed to be saying it, but he's saying it, and he doesn't even know what he's saying. But it's like a word that you're taught. And then just think about the movie ratings. Like you got PG,
right?
You got PG-13, and then you got rated R. Like, of course, there's when you go from PG-13 to rated R. Of course, they add in nudity and stuff like that. That can make the rating, but mainly it's cursing. It's you loosely talking and without any filters. And people will even pay more money to see something that's more explicit. That is a little bit more. I want to say
music. Think about music, back in the day where back in
on the radio version.
Yeah, you would have the radio version, and it would almost prompt you to go, like when CDs were actually still a thing. Go get that CD so you can get that little sticker on them, explicit content. And you're like, you thought you were being naughty. You thought you were being like a badass. You're like, yeah, I'm about to hear the real cut of it. And it's like, then you hear it and you already knew what the word was, but just hearing it said, you're like, oh yeah, that was good. It's like, did you just get off on hearing the cuss word? Like,
did you get a nice jolt of energy off of a curse word? Like, really?
it's just when you just step back and think about it, because it seems like so, caveman-esque. Just I cuss word. I mean more with it. It's like, well, I mean, kind of, sort of. I don't mean to like. I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, it's kind of what we do. Like, how
You know
often
what's
do you
even more
like?
funnier
Yeah.
is some British people, I know you heard this term before, they don't even use an actual word. They just plug in cuss. They be like, you nasty little cuss. They just throw the word cuss
You
in there.
are severely missing the word cunt. They love that word, and
Oh
and
man.
I actually, funny enough,
Oh,
because I was
bloody,
actually,
like bloody is cursing in Britain. Like you bloody this, like bloody. Like we think if this is a joke, but that's like them saying fucking, like for real.
yeah, it's a weird, like, and that's even
You
another
bloody
conversation.
whore.
Just different things across different, languages. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it just kind of struck me whenever we were on that. I just, for whatever reason, noticed we were just doing it a lot more, and it just kind of crossed my mind of what are we doing this for? Like, is
Well, I
this
mean,
just
yeah, I
kind of
mean,
what
I
we do?
know before we streamlined and made the BDEs all about one topic. Remember,
Yeah,
it seemed like we were almost forcing ourselves
we
to
were.
curse.
We absolutely were,
Like,
because we were trying to
and it was
differentiate it from
sounding
the other
weird.
one.
Like we could actually have a conversation and not use any curse words and still get our points across and all the emphasis that goes along with it. But we
Right.
felt the need to curse because we wanted to be explicit.
Yeah. And that idea fell on its face pretty hard. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we abandoned ship on that idea, because that was an oopsie daisy. Now
Yeah.
we just have a conversation, and yeah, we are explicit, but it's not like a forced thing. It's just more, hey, understand that you don't necessarily have this filter on, so you can kind of say more so what you're really kind of coming across without having to kind of taper it off and, kind of just.
But at the same time, the X's and O's and the BDE, it's not like one made more sense than the other. It's not like because we were cursing on BDE, we got our points across so much harder.
Right.
We still got our points across, cursing or no cursing. So what's
Yeah.
the point in cursing? So yeah.
Yeah. So that was a long answer to a short question of dumb. We were dumb. But yeah, I don't know. And please, I feel like this, I mean, I don't know how much conversation this is really gonna, spark off, but why do you cuss? I mean, just put it out there. Like, why do you, like, answer that? Why do you cuss? Or have you ever even thought about that? Is it just something that's so primal or instinctual in you that it just happens, you don't even realize it? Or
I
do you
mean,
feel like you use it
for me, I think that a lot of times I've gotten so used to using it that sometimes it slips and it's like, oh man, I didn't even mean to say that. But at the same time, I can control it because I'm at work. I don't walk up to my manager and like, what's up, fucking lady? Like, I mean, I can contain it at work. Like, I don't know.
But that's the thing. Why couldn't we do that at work with pretty much, 100% accuracy, but then just random conversations where we're not trying, it just happens? That's weird.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
like
just on this podcast, even before you read the disclaimer, I think I slipped and said something a little bit, and it's like,
you definitely did.
And I didn't mean to. It's just I was passionate at the time, and we were talking about whatever the subject, and it just came out, and I didn't unconsciously, like I didn't think about it and say I was going to do it, but I don't.
Yeah, so I think that's answering the question. Though I think on both sides of the fence with both of us, at least, it's more of a passion thing. It's not uneducated, not having a vocabulary type of thing. It's just, hey, you're obviously not at work, so you don't have to worry about your finances being affected, and you're in your own place, and you just are able to be more free and easy with it. And when one gets passionate and you are kind of free and easy, that'll happen. So I don't know.
I know, like you saying, you sounding free. Like, I mean, is it a level of free? Like, do you feel free? Like, I mean, like, do you feel like you're being restrained at work? I mean, do you feel like, yeah, you're in a safe space. You're in your own house and you can take off all the filters.
You should definitely feel like you're restrained at work, because if you start being like hey, thanks for yada yada yada. What's up? Go fuck yourself. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not going to be at that work any longer.
Type of email to somebody and say,
To whom this may concern, suck my dick. I'm out. Bye. You know, like you can't do that.
yes.
But
So,
yeah, I mean, I think just when you're
I mean,
talking,
do
especially
you,
with
when you're at home, do you feel like a level of freedom because
yeah,
you're not at work and you're not in a restrained.
anytime I'm anywhere away from work, I'm free and easy. I will literally yell across the store and look real white trashy and be like, "Boy, get the fuck over here! What are you doing? Get over here! Jesus Christ! Can't go anywhere with you."
Yeah.
And it's I'm a bit more of an aggressive person, so I think that probably doesn't really help matters. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it makes us either one of us look uneducated. Now there are a lot of people that will be like every other word, and it's just kind of
Yeah.
come on, man. Like that is where you step over that line of being passionate and being
Yeah.
an idiot. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you really
I
are
mean, in my
uneducated. You
younger
don't know
years,
any other words.
in my younger years, there's been times where I was having a conversation at like a party or something, or I'm out with some friends, and then my brother would say to me, he'd be like, man, you cuss too much, and I was just like, man, shut the fuck up. That was my first response.
Of course it was.
So, and he was like, man, I mean, he was like, almost every word you say is this and that, and I was just like, man, whatever. And I was like, what, you paying attention to my thoughts or something? Like, so I easily brushed them off, but then rest of that night, I kept like I was conscious. Like he had shook me from the unconscious to the conscious of how much I use it, and I'm like, dang. And then just later on, like throughout that night, I just kept thinking of like all the times. I ain't gonna say all the times, but how much I had used it up to that point, and I was definitely suppressing it for the rest of that night. Because it was just like, dang, I didn't even realize I said it that much, until he pointed it out. But
it is an interesting line in the sand because you can very easily go over that and then go from I was intelligent to now I'm not intelligent anymore. So
yeah,
it's cool that he was like, yo, shut up.
yeah.
Like there's
I
other
mean, we
words.
was at a party, and I'm like, man, we at a party. Where we at church? And he was like, man, he said, I just sat and listened as you sat there and told that story. He said, you probably said the word fuck probably like 40 times. I'm like, what, you count my words? So of course we got into a little argument, but then I just stopped and I was just like, he was right. I was abusing the hell out of it.
That's kind of cool that he was able to check you and see and really kind of help you. Like, hey, look, you were not making this is not a good look.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine like being on the other side of that. You're just like, yeah, okay, this is mildly uncomfortable and probably overly aggressive. This is nice. I'm happy at this party.
Like I said, I'm at a party. I'm telling stories. You got the whole party's attention, and I'm telling a funny story. And he didn't check me in front of a bunch of people, so he politely pulled me to the side and was like, "Man, you cuss too much." And I was just like, what is you, a saint? Like I was giving him all this, hell behind, what are you doing? You counting my words, But he was right though. You know what I mean? Now that I think on it, he was definitely right.
One of those beautiful, I mean, you had a life lesson come to you and say you searching for one out. Like the whole piggybacking off the chasing something. So that's interesting.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, but that's about it. I mean, it wasn't anything like that was super pressing, but it was one of those kind of shower thought things.
Brownie shower brownie.
Yo, you got to get that right, man, because that's going to turn into a whole weird hat. I do not want to deal with it. So, just to kind of wrap things up, as everyone saw, there was another episode this week of The Interview with Colby. Check it out. Interesting cat. Definitely is a 23-year-old that seems to be wise beyond his years. So check it out.
He's 23.
Yeah,
wow.
He's 20. Yeah, he's a young dude, man, and definitely has some interesting takes on the world and how to approach certain things. And he had a few epiphanies, and it's a good read. So yeah, just give it an hour of your time. Check his stuff out because I put all of his links in there. Obviously, if you can share it, all that. I will tell you this as well, and this is going to be on our same network here, not the same like X and O's, but me and the wife are going to be starting a podcast here in the next week or so. So it's going to be generally to give you a brief idea. Kind of just we're going to go through the week and cover the weird, strange, and interesting things that we kind of that happen, and just give our kind of takes on it. Now, I know that probably doesn't sound as the most interesting thing possible, but I can't explain to you how we operate together. Maybe Jermaine can. I don't know. We have a certain
very
way
unique. That's all I can tell y'all.
And that's the best way to put it. So, yeah, I would say just think of me just with a, bigger tits. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But we're gonna start that. I'll start sending out the info when I build it all up and all that, and we get everything rolling. But I'm gonna send it out the same way I've been sending it out. Send it to Jermaine. Jermaine sends it to the boys. All that stuff. It'll be you guys subscribe to it. That'll be awesome. But yeah, gonna roll it out, see how it goes, and if it falls on its face, then so be it. If it doesn't, then that means we got 3 podcasts. So
yeah.
Obviously the whole, I actually now also I'm adding the Apple links in the description too. So if you'd rather just subscribe to us on Apple, that'll be easier. So you don't have to worry about searching, and you can actually fast forward through the recording. So if you can sub to that, that'd be cool. Definitely start subbing on YouTube so we can get those numbers boosted up. Once again, another easy way to get to the podcast too. So, Patreon, obviously, I'm gonna drop some change in there. Cool. I think the tier starts at $3, $3 or $5. I'm not sure which one. I'll have to check it because I literally don't look at it because no one loves us enough to give us any money.
Yeah.
You just want us to be poor and eat ramen. Do I sound like an evangelist yet? Thank you, Jesus.
You crazy.
Amen. But yeah, so what do we got here? What do we got on the docket for Wednesday? We're letting the people choose the subject.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that was unnecessarily sexy, but yeah. Yeah, we're waiting for some more answers here. We want to get something juicy to talk about. So, if you don't really necessarily know what we're even talking about, go back to the last BD Street. We talked about trust. Good episode. Covered a lot of different things. We're putting the ball in your guys' court to choose our subject to talk about next week. We want to kind of switch it up a little bit, give you guys a little bit of the power, and have a little fun with it. So, that's about all the housekeeping stuff I got here. Feels like I keep getting more and more and more as we go along here. I may have to record something and just have to press the button so I don't have to read all that. You got anything to lead out here with?
No. Pretty much that's about it. Like I said.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. We might be having a guest here sooner or later that actually will show up for both of us here, because I know I keep doing these interviews and Jermaine isn't around. His schedule is pretty wild, and it's definitely difficult. We've had conversations. No one. I just want to put this out there. I don't want anyone to think that I'm pushing him out or anything like that. It's literally just his schedule is not really great, and his sleep schedule is even worse. So,
vampire.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's definitely hard to get these other people, especially other people in different time zones, to kind of get all that to mash up. So I would love to get him involved on these. I really am trying to push for Sunday interviews too, but generally people are like, "Nah, it's my family day, man. I'm not really trying to work." So
nothing on the Sunday, yeah.
So it's still trying, but anyway, yeah, I'm should be bringing on the person that I was actually a guest on, and that'll be released July 6th. So I'll retweet all that stuff and send it out to everybody. My episode I was on with, it's called the Sip List podcast. So they do a lot of lists. It's kind of generally what we do with our draft, but their whole thing is based off of stuff like that. So I'm going to try to get her on, get her out of her element and have a little fun with us there too. So Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I want to talk anymore. I think I kind of covered everything.
Yep. Yep. Yes, sir.
Well, good episode. I dug it. Guess what we learned is flies are stupid, and horses still don't. Horses still have a bad life. So there's that.
And we cuss for nothing.
We cuss for nothing. We're gonna let Jermaine get some honey because his ass is struggling over there. He sounded like he just ate a pack of Marlboro Reds and took a few shots of Goldschlager out there.
My voice should be back next episode, but yeah, I'm struggling.
We're gonna have to get a stunt double in here for you. All right, boys. Well, y'all take it easy. Have a good weekend. Do something fun with your families tomorrow, and this will be released right around Sunday morning. So be on the lookout on your platforms. All right.
Yep.
Toodaloo there, kiddos. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it is 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to a therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time, night or day, and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you can get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off with your first month at betterhelp.com/XOOF That's betterhelp.com/XOOF life.